Hey everyone, my name's Pan. Welcome to another edition of Bluebird Corner, the Cardiff City Fans podcast. So, City 2, Reading 1, takes us back top of the table in League 1. We'll have a look at the game in detail. Just come back from the match. Before the game started, obviously, I didn't realise, obviously, Lawler was out. But a real surprise that the manager started with Osho instead of Fish. And Turnbull come in for Wintle. And Chambers was obviously in defence as well. So there's a few changes. We expected Kellyman to be on the right instead of Ashford. And so I mean, couple of surprises, but the way we started the game, absolute shocker. The first half was an absolute joke. Probably one of the worst first halves of football I've seen by us. But we've had a few lately in terms of, really we weren't in the game at all. I mean, the first 15 minutes, nothing much happened. And then they had an effort that I think hit the crossbar. And obviously we were on the back foot. But yeah, it was so poor. Bagan was really poor. Joe Colwell and Ruben Colwell really poor. But ultimately, as I said, it was a really poor first half. I mean, I just don't understand how we can be so poor. And then obviously in the second half, we deliver a result. But Oshu, again, I don't know. I think, the manager, credit to him. I think the first time he made a mistake, wasn't it, against Bradford, where he dived in for that penalty that Bradford got and scored from. We let him off for that because that was his home debut. He did a lot of good things. I think I said he was, in my view, our best player in the second half at Bradford, against Bradford at home. Then he did it again. This time was a different mistake, wasn't it, against Orient? I think it was twice in the game he did it where he passed the ball back and just not enough strength in the pass straight to their forward, and who slotted it at home against Orient. And again, he does the same thing again this time. And he was just lucky that their striker, I'm not sure if it was Marriott, couldn't slot it past Trott, who saved the day again. And Osho, I think we can we let him off for the first, obviously, time he dived in and gave away the penalty. That's fair enough because he really improved after that. And he has got some good things about him, but there's a pattern, isn't there, in terms of Osho? He just doesn't seem to be able to, his weight of pass obviously is poor. He can't, you can't continue having a player like that in the side. And credit to the manager because, the whole team obviously in that first half were really shocking. Reading deserved their lead. I mean, I think it was like 40 yards out, wasn't it? Lewis Wing, who was the best player as far as I was concerned on the pitch, the number 10 for them. And he hit it. I think Trott was not expecting that shot. And from where I was sitting in the canton on the side, he looked as though he just went straight through Trott and he just didn't react in time. But yeah, it was a cracking drive, but it looked as if it was straight to the middle of the goal. And Trott should have done better. But Reading, I think, deserved their lead. They pressed us a lot more. Our midfield was non-existent, absolutely non-existent. And credit to them. I mean, obviously they booed off half time. Oshu again, another mistake. I don't know, went out for a corner or something, passed back. But I mean, the fans were really, on his back then, and I think the manager did the right thing in taking him off. He was just having an awful time of it. I just think, Oshu, I think obviously with Lawler back, hopefully, Lawler, Fish and Chambers, it's two from those three. Oshu obviously could come in for certain games, but he's got a lot to improve on, and you can't make those kind of mistakes in matches. He just can't continue. One mistake, fair enough, but 3 or 4, 5 errors that's cost us probably over that time 2 or 3 goals. It's just not good enough. So yeah, he was rightly subbed in the second half, and Fish came on. So second half, I think they had a chance fairly early on, didn't they, to score. Again, I think this time, Fish was the defender, but I think it was a good ball from Reading, and I think it was Marriott hit it again, and Trott made a great save. And I think, like, I was thinking, oh, here we go again. Nothing really changed. But obviously, having that goal that we scored, what was it, something like 50 odd minutes. I think it was, I can't remember, it was down the right, wasn't it, between Capaccio. Now, Capaccio going forward is a tremendous player. And I said, I don't really think he's a genuine right back, but as a wing back, he's one of the top players in this league. And obviously that drive forward, which passed to Kellyman, who took it, at ease really onto his left foot, cut inside, edge of the box. And I think he took a small deflection, but I think it went under the keeper, but it was a good shot with his left foot, and City back in the game. And, obviously attacking the Canton end. We seem to, for whatever reason, with the crowd lifting the team, because obviously we were flat in the first half. But again, you need the team to lift you. So, yeah, we were back in the game. But again, I think, Reading, as far as I remember it, they had sort of chances throughout the second half. And I think, without going through every moment of the game, I think Trott was definitely man of the match. I mean, he made 5, 6, 7 saves. One or two of them really top quality saves. So really kept us in the game. And you can't afford, and even though we're top of the table, you can't afford to, have those kind of chances against you and continue to win. Like I said, I think we got lucky against Leyton Orient. We sort of lucky against Reading, although we were better in the second half. I thought, a point during the second half, 60 odd minutes, it was great to see the crowd obviously stand up for a minute of applause for that Yabavan disaster, 59, was it many years ago? 114 people lost their lives, and I think the ref stopped the game, was clapping as well for that minute. So that was lovely, great to see. And in the 60 odd minutes, I thought we dominated, and I thought, we're going to go on to win this game. But they had chances. I mean, we were quite open. And I think, making those subs of Davis coming on, and obviously that sort of changed it, didn't it, with Capaccio linking up down the right, with Davis, I think, again. And, a great ball in from Capaccio, and a lovely finish there from Salic, who was 5, 6 yards out. And Salic early on in that, I mean, the ref was a complete joke, wasn't he? That one time where we had a long ball through, and Salic, really, he would have been one-on-one with the keeper, and he was pulled back. It was so obvious he was pulled back. But the ref's position is so shocking, and he gave a free kick to them. I mean, that was crazy. So, as I said, we the refs in general have been poor. I think this ref overall was okay. He wasn't as bad as some of the refs, but that was a clear pull. Salic was clear on goal, but again, he worked really hard for the team against these big burly defenders who were, holding and, not giving him any space at all. And it was good to see him score again. And then obviously, with Robinson on the pitch, that helped. I think Kean Ashford was a sub, wasn't he? And then he was subbed again later on for NG. But they had plenty of chances, and they I think we were a bit open. I just think Joe Colwell and Ruben, they've dropped off. I just think we didn't really compete in that midfield. I thought Kellyman had a good game. Fish, obviously, world-class clearance off the line. Absolutely amazing clearance there. I mean, that would have been a 2-2. That was one I remember, and I remember some 2 or 3 really top-class saves as well. So, we're top of the league, but I think, there's a lot of question marks about certain individuals in the side. I think, as I said, Kellyman, Salic, Robinson, these type of players you can rely on. And, I was impressed with Fish, when he came on. Capaccio going forward, his ability to see a pass, when, again, he did it before, I think, for against Leyton Orient, and he did it in this match as well. It's just quality of ball in. And, he is a top player. But I thought Baker was poor. And I said the Colwell brothers, as I've mentioned, were poor. But I think Trott, man of the match. But we're top of the league. And what can you say? Obviously, you're winning a game when you haven't really played. I think it was like a 4 out of 10 performance, wasn't it? First half. Second half, I'd say at least 7, to be fair. Obviously, I think we're too open at times. I think NG coming on for Ashford was a good ploy by BBM, because we were too open, and we needed to protect the defence, really. But yeah, he's top of the league. I hope you enjoyed the game. It'd be great to hear your thoughts on what you thought of the match. How did you feel about our midfield today? What do you feel about Osho in terms of getting game time in the future? Certainly good to see Isaac Davis come on. You know, he looked really sharp. But yeah, get your thoughts in. It'd be great to hear from you at Bluebird Corner what you thought of the game. And we'll look forward to seeing you soon. Take care.